themselves when it was time for the filming. I have other information, classified info, that I may not reveal on air now. Maybe later. Yesterday, we spoke with Kofi Ochiami, who had already written on Facebook or social media, expressing his dissatisfaction with the documentary, and that for a Hiplife story to be told, some people who were formidable or people who played very important or were integral in the formation of Hiplife were not even mentioned in the documentary. Some musicians were not mentioned. Some were not even contacted for the filming, let alone not being available. Zab Mallet, who is a pioneer of Hiplife, also spoke and wasn't too comfortable about certain things. Abraham Mohini Jan came to reveal that, well, some musicians were contacted, but when it was time to film, they were nowhere to be found. In fact, they tried reaching out to them, but there were excuses. Some would, as usual, read messages, would not respond. You see blue ticks, and that's it. Let's continue with the discussion today. Yesterday, it was good. Let's see what happens today. Let's speak with Reggie Rockstone, who is the grandpapa. Wafael.
Kabusia.
Good morning.
Morning, no.
How you doing?
What did you do?
Debbie, and I watch my how do we eat?
I know.
Yeah, please. You know how I want my watch. Yeah, for preco count.
I sabi pa.
Yeah, for preco count.
Sa preco after me there. Who go me? You must be. After now, can just.
Kwe.
Ni pa me just say me enjoy preco. What be next? Oh, they already.
Reggie, good to have you as always.
Talk to me.
Thank you very much. Okay, so yeah, you were featured in the BBC documentary.
Yes, I was.
Okay. Have you seen the full length?
Yes.
Were you satisfied with the documentary?
Well, it's really, if I'm telling my story, I'm sure I would say more. I actually did say more. Brother Panji said a whole lot more than me. You know how Panji go. I went as far as even talking about VIP's dog Chicago, which a lot of people didn't know.
Yeah, that dog.
Yeah, exactly. But of course, for a 30-minute documentary, it would have to be packaged. And so, but yes, I am happy. Reason being that it has showcased not just my story, our story. Remember this, with me on the forefront to the whole world, which is something that my own country people have been fighting me about, and here you are finally getting your flowers. Like my following has quadrupled. People from all over the world today know about me and know about Ghana. They know about the history and our inputs and how we are connected to this Afro beat. It's a win-win for everyone. Of course, we have to tell our own stories, but it's also rather unfortunate because we have told our stories, but we wasn't listening. There's an extensive 2 documentaries one by Professor Jesse Shipley from New York called Living the Hip Life, which actually even comes with a book. There's another one called Homegrown by my Latina brother from New York, which is primarily based on VIP, very, very in-depth. And this is a money. These are documentaries that are shown in the West. Some of them have used them for their thesis in universities all over the world. Ghanaians pay no attention to it. All of a sudden, the BBC steps in, and then there's this whole uproar about, oh, you didn't mention my name. No, why didn't you say? And I'm like, damn, homie. First of all, I mean, a story, no, and your story, Kitwasi, I can't see it, Nasiaka, and yet, me papa cried, Nasame womb cried, no, Munyanti, what's I say? There's two people, DJ Rab, may he rest in peace, and my father, the executive producer for Hiplife. Now, we began by bickering about the name Hiplife, okay? Now, who originated it, blah, blah, blah. And because I was doing a Jumano, Estro Sin Edino, the infant said Brandon. But Nippon Metiasi, Rabs also know we and Sando Frimo, me papa or more munimno. And there's no proof till today, not a single iota of any recording on this green earth where you hear the words Hiplife before Chobui. None. Now they will tell you, oh, we were rapping before you came, blah, blah, masomano. Listen, to tell you the truth, I was rapping before a lot of you. Why? Because I'm older than you. I know hip-hop way more than you. Me to New York, me to UK, I was rapping. And rapping in your own language was nothing new. The Japanese was doing it, the Chinese was doing it. In fact, Positive Black Soul from Senegal, shout out to Awadi, they was rapping in their language too. They all called what they were doing hip-hop, or they called it rap. Menkwa and me papa, or say yao, adia we, many years from now is going to explode in Africa. Own it, give it a name. We sat on that veranda, back and forth, and we came up with the brand Hiplife. My father is very artistic, if you know. And he was the executive producer for everything that we did. And you say, ticket that Rab did free New York, but I live with Rab. We live in the same house. So when you talk about Hiplife, Yandoso is a very strong, very tight-knit power unit. Myself, DJ Rab, Zap Mallet, Michael Cook, and everybody else that we brought in, Brother Colehouse. But Ebushiama Yandoso. So when we would solicit, my father said, hey, yeah, I wouldn't say, cousin, your friend is Sydney or Rapid. Put him on your album. Boom. That's how Sydney came on my album. Sammy B, I met him somewhere. I said, this guy can spit. Boom, bring him in. Cy Lover, I brought him in. Rutai, who was very close to me, myself, and DJ Rab, we bring him in. You know, intimate of tight family, but me na studio time, bibiano, me papa no ede, uchiaye. Intina next year, can't Hiplife asema. In fact, nobody can stand up and say, you never hear that. What's I say? Yes, you're true, Dino. Now, yesterday I heard you say, my brother, Zap Mallet. And here's another thing that really breaks my heart. I love that brother, Zap Mallet. I mean, this is one of my really good friends. And this whole Hiplife thing almost divided our friendship. It became divisive. And I blame the people because Reggie, now, and what it does is it creates animosity because at the end of the day, we all work together. But then let the truth be known. So, papa, yes. And when Zap says that he was a good friend of my father's and that him and my father came up with a name, this is possible for him to think so. You know why? Because I am even closer to my father. I live with him. Zap comes to visit, okay? So the chances are my father told Zap Mallet about our idea. And then, of course, when I went to the studio, Zap didn't write my lyrics. I wrote my lyrics. I actually have a lyric sheet, and I can take a snapshot of the day and what I wrote.
I think I've seen it before.
I actually write on top, Hiplife. I wrote bass line from the stylistics. I'm saying, no Obama audience, no. And none of the there's nothing with the exception of maybe Anesia, Bessa. All my music was chosen by myself, my samples by myself, and I go to Zap. Zap is a paid studio engineer. Okay, when he comes, my father puts that envelope in his hand, and we work together. The studio time is we pay for that studio time. The videos. So when you talk about Hiplife, me not being the originator, if you base it on the definition of what you think rap is, then perhaps everybody was rapping before I came home, because I hear Swazi B, Ochiame, Lord Kenyon, them was rapping in 91. Newsflash, I was rapping way before 91, by the way. When you're rapping, I mean, the breakdowns, the cry, big dream that okay? But this is because I'm older than them. But notwithstanding, nothing under the sun is new. And rap, but giving it an identity, a name, a brand. Now, when you remove all of the above that I just mentioned to you, now that's where it gets real deep. Like my mother says, Reggie, if you wasn't the originator of Hiplife, you would still be the originator of Hiplife. Check my body of work. From time I saw Mike to and now I know what you had more that still I on TJ. What am I say? It's easy for me. It's and I never came into this rap music industry as a career. I originally aspired to be an actor, damn it. That's what I wanted to be. And to me, passion I'm a no, and yes you can see. And I'm a papa so time that be original. Joe Debra now pay. Yeah, so it was a walk in the park. Did I share it? Was I stingy? Nope. Till this day, when you go on my page, I advertise every up-and-coming artist and every made artist. Go and look. You will see me live bringing Obrafour on stage. Obrafour will testify. Sarkodie will testify. Blacko will testify. And then, you mean every one. Just for authenticity. It's only about 5 years ago I joined a group, VIP making it VVIP. Up to now, your Bosco Loma still are Mosa. Nipa me Jinamen now so. I am on bomb and send my yaw. Namun Dania. Muria made me watch it. That's it. Come on. Muria made me watch it. Yeah, listen. You can't my ass I can ask me government room. What I have done for my country, Jesus. And she next year, bomb a basso cacao, BBC now, Obia Jam, and say, hey, Joe, when you. And I respect them. And you see, a lot of these young brothers and sisters, they have a lot of respect for me because, I'm accessible. In fact, I know all of them. They come to me, you need advice, everything. And to when I'm a cocaine, I say, young people come on Twitter and be disrespectful to me because I am the most important person to you young people. I stood by you, stood for you. And I'm not a politician. I came to empower you. I am the reason why today you can talk that talk, wear your dreadlocks, do all. I liberated y'all. I should be the last person that you ever speak disrespect on. And I'm still alive, looking good, family man, Majaya Jamai. I'm doing everything.
Reggie!
I'm a good example to you.
Reggie, why do you say I should tell them? What does that got to do with Hiplife?
I'm telling you, Jamaica can't find a role model na more pa. Yeah, my my setting standards. My a Juma cry. Obi, yes, I'm matching the sport. Me na me starting music. I could be a Rockstone's office. Up to now, 13 years still a boom. I've showed you how to invest money. I showed you from grandpapa to this, mostly international collabos. Kamati Bida. At the prime of Beanie Man being the king of dancehall, I was sparring with him. Wyclef Jean, WikiLeaks, my bem, Billboard, Source Magazine, just enumja. Sameka Sameka, Apollo, Musiden, and New Year, and Hefa. I have sat with greats. I was on a tour bus with Run DMC, New York, my bro, or Harlem hip hop. I saw a big dream. I mean, I did this so I sat. We carried nightlife in this. Monsieur, Mr. You know, dear. So when see mamia, you know, but these are jokes. But I am telling you the facts, you know, and it really breaks my heart because you know perception is everything, Andy. Now, obi baka sada na ya odi mebia na o ko Hiplife. It wasn't so. Ansana nipa bako ebie na no ebeka say enyame na me ye Hiplife. No be can Hiplife ho asem there be. We were all moving in unison. We were all working. Until my brother Panji said what he said, or whoever said what he said, and even up to then, my demon say, and it was my auntie Amatedu, or none of friend, or say, yow, Casao, no almost history, no, because the name was social media. Necrano, a room, and Toronto will go around the world 3 times before the truth can tie a shoelace. And Nuntin, I'm Miss Jana, or I'm say, Debbie. Sa social media now model kasa asem na no ana me so me de defend myself, and this is why to me cry times I am me he ahomete sa dia my year adwuma no bia nim say my year adwuma na say last I'm fighting over it, but I don't have a choice because me bia na maka ne de ene sa akode ene bo mali abonyo musibui hey Krobeni Bob American artist Bob Marley, Bob Marley right. Oh, so Bob Gusua, only Bob Marley na abonyum. Amount for Jana way Hiplife origination. So there's so many distractions, Andy, which is keeping us away from getting a seat at the table. Yet you heard in Nigeria, or Marsha, so I ye. And after the Chicago bell growing and right now there's so much money in the music industry you don't have a clue. Amount for the rock idea so yenya start muria no matter best for me say I minisika mamwa hey Joe idea no yenya de buy and na mumenya be can be it's just a sign of ingratitude and ingratitude is a sin. It's actually a sin. I always tell these young brothers and sisters on Twitter who are disrespectful, I said, you are cursing yourself because I have done nothing but good to you. You are disrespecting me. In African tradition, it's a curse onto you. You never see me speak any kind of way to Uncle Ambule or Uncle Amachidede or Mebaye. It still stands today. Uncle Kodrej, he's one of the first people to put me on stage. These kids are losing their way, and it's affecting them, and that's why they're not getting a slice of the pie. We're over here fighting and bickering about crumbs instead of sitting at the table with the big boys. And I do Afro, I do this. And Caban day, Cabaseki, Soya brand, Kene, Kobe bet me a Kabibi. I say, Nigeria block, because this is yeah, grown also. We are so near do matter. And Kovois in area, and I manifest kind of interview. You must say it breaks his heart. It's embarrassing when we seem to have animosity towards our cousins. They actually looked at the blueprint of what we was doing and they ran with it. They have always been complimentary about us. Uncle Fella, your kind Afrobeats. Or bet not Ghana. Only Uncle Faisal Helwani. This man was so proud to be within Ghana. He was a huge fan of Sergeant Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. He was all about Ghana. Do you know that fella has a song where he sings in Cree? Look it up. This man was singing in Cree. And next year, say, Bernard Boy, we are one family. I am Pan-African. I'll always be Pan-African. Everything about Africa I am about. Yes, Hiplife was created for us, the youth, to have a voice, for us to have an identity. Hip hop no cry more kind of if we animal. And then me America was way grammar what Twitter. Okay, you're more sure. And Africans, you stole our music. Hey, that's it, been. Black people, can't we just get together on something and move along? It's a shame.
Okay.
But anyway,
so Reggie, all the commentary that came,
yeah,
I didn't see any of them criticizing you or having anything bad about your submission on the documentary. I think most of the criticism or the backlash that came on the back of the documentary was that the story wasn't told properly, and some integral parts or people that played pivotal roles in the formation were not mentioned or even featured in the documentary. This has been the cry of the people.
Yeah, I can bet you that and I can bet you that if it was an hour long and everybody was mentioned, you would still have somebody come and say they wasn't mentioned. Now, as a Ghana Music Awards, maybe you back be say I didn't a man for me. It's something. So let me give you an example. Do you know currently in my country, the only person who has documented all Hiplife stars, dead and alive, is a song that was written by me and my crew, VVIP. It's called The Book of Hiplife. Now, Book of Hiplife, me na make sure video concept, no. There's no video out there today that tells that story. Obia or you obia, my friend, I'm all by video name. And
except Andy Dusty.
Yes, Andy said Andy cried and go sober. Makacho says white. And when you watch this video, I covered everyone, right down to the dead and alive. I think I missed one person or one or two people, which would be Brother Terry Bonchaka. I'm not too sure. The same week or two, and I Ghana for saying Yamana Mede Hiplife by it. Man can't say what. But today we are over that. We are friends, we're family. Panji I grew up with. I love Brother Zap. That's my brother, and my father was very close to a lot of these people. This is how deep we were. My father was really, he believed in it. And, let's just cut all these distractions and move on. To be able to package a 30-minute something on BBC about Hiplife, you would leave some people out. Me kasa the other by near Chicago, no mama can ye be me can Chicago VIP Kramana Hospital or me in but I understand. But if we want to tell our own stories, then maybe perhaps. But I bet you, say Yanka Sakrasi can ye still you're gonna miss some people. It's not a walk in the park, my brother. And so I commend the BBC. Say Anya crowd, the whole world knows. Say, hey, Ghana, say I'm and I grow we be see. And then maybe perhaps the Sankofa syndrome might set off. Maybe the new young ones coming might want to pick up the mantle and revisit and hold it with pride. And you need the but a brand now the babosono and the bebwa the next generation. Yeah, say brand in the you're listening to music. If it's good, it's good. But if you have an ID to it, it will help a generation, and that's what I did.
Okay,
I stood by it.
Right, but Reggie, with what you said, that your flowers have been given. People are not very happy. Some are complaining, and that they were not very happy with you and all the yada yada yada. Now,
no, I don't think they said they were not happy with me. Maybe some go come media. Hey, junior premier. Oh, story. I see a flower about the county. What you're saying is that I spoke on things and I spoke about people that of course got edited because of time. In fact, when I spoke to the producer, I said to him, "Is there a part 2 coming?" And he said to me, "We wish, but the funding." So yes, they actually know. They actually know that it's a bigger story. Nevertheless, we got our foot in the door and our story is out there. So right now it's up to us. You want to do an extensive one? Let's do it. I mean, Jesse Shipley has a whole one. He delves into the Mobile Boys, everything called Living the Hip Life. Book in your account. Yeah, the TV station now. I'm on few BBC about boy now. For my name say.
So is it safe to say that the documentary was to glorify Reggie Rockstone?
No, because if you really pay attention to the documentary, Manifest actually had more airtime than me. Think about it. Manifest had more talking and more. He had more narrations than I did. You understand me? Which is understandable. The boy is fly. He's eloquent. He knows the history of Hiplife, and he's new school. You see, when you're creating a documentary, there's also a commercial angle to it. Boring. A old school line, register. If you watch the documentary, yes, they talk about the origins, they talk about my impact, but it is not being said by me. It's actually coming out of the mouths of younger artists who were inspired by me. What am I saying? But I didn't even go into depth of how everything really popped off. No, Manifest, he spoke about how the kids don't identify with Hiplife because they think it's dead. And they asked me the same question. Do you think Hiplife is dead? And I said, I'd be a fool to sit on BBC and say Hiplife is dead. Adam and Jimmy, I'm there growing by my BBC so I can grow because as I speak, these kids are still rapping in Cree and different languages. And that's the foundation of Hiplife. What am I saying? Remember, Hiplife is interchangeable. When you listen to Ochiame, Masanabo, that's real Hiplife because you can hear the high life rhythm and they're rapping, right? And you can also reverse it. When you listen to Chen Chen Bia Dimawu, which is Keep Your Eyes on the Road, it's an authentic high life sample from the 70s by Uncle Alaji K from Pong. But I'm rapping in English. It still goes under Hiplife. And then you could also just straight rap Reggie from a born in why the bass line is high life and I'm rapping in Cree. You know, whichever way it goes down.
Okay, so Reggie, were you disappointed when Manifest made that statement that Hiplife is dead?
No, not Manifest. Me and Manifest have had various debates and dialogue, and I wasn't. And I understand the sentiment because some of these kids actually do feel like that. And
do you feel that Hiplife is dead? You said you would not sit on BBC to say it. So you may not sit on BBC. However, outside the BBC platform, here on radio.
No. A Hiplife can never die. It's like saying High Life is dead. Kwabna will tell you, get out of here. Okay? No, it's not dead. They don't die. I mean, music is music. It evolves. What might be we're lacking is the patriotic vibes based on the brand. What's I say? These kids have seen greener pastures. And because and Colano more Jamusha na Davido or Bugatti and me Afrobeat. We're giant air show video, which is cool because I also respect the whole Afrobeat story. It would have just been really beautiful if we had held on to our own. Just like when Azonto was popping off. Azonto was worldwide. Yeah. I feel Chris Brown. I say a whiskey in the chair. I saw the boy and I question Nigeria. You know, what can I say?
Okay, Reggie.
We keep dropping the ball.
Right.
You know, we keep dropping fuse on these.
Okay.
You know, all of them, you know. So my thing is, I would never say Hiplife is dead as long as these kids are rapping in their dialects, expressing themselves. Akas Asaka drill. That's my Kumasiano brothers rapping in their languages over hip-hop beats.
Right.
That's just Hiplife. It's the foundation. So Hiplife can never die.
Reggie, I'm so grateful for your time.
Thank you so much.
And yes, keep doing what you do. We love you.
Fantastic.
We love you.
Fantastic.
Right. God bless you, sir. Right.
Wakey, wakey, rise rise and shine.
Take a deep breath and relax. It's all going to be fine.
Time to get out of bed. Time to put on the radio. Oh, you've already put it on. You're waking up with
Daybreak Hits. Hits FM 103.9.
Hits 103.9 FM. Bets the responsible way. That was the grandpapa, Reggie Rockstone. Now, World Cup finished, but action still dig. Bet a minimum of 10 Ghana cedis on Betway Aviator and stand a chance of winning amazing and exciting prizes, including vouchers, smartphones, and many more. Sign up at betway.com.gh. Please, if you are not yet 18, do not bet. This is brought to you by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Are you looking for a job in the world of technology? If you're looking for a platform that equips you to land your dream job in technology, then the 2023 edition of the Tech Job Fair is for you. Visit the Accra International Conference Center on Wednesday, February 22 from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. with the theme Leveraging Technology to Create Inclusive and Sustainable Jobs. This is brought to you by an Institute of ICT Professionals Ghana and AFOS AFOS Foundation. Please visit techjobfairghana.com or call or send a WhatsApp to 0242 912 027. 0242 912 027 for more information. The job fair is free and open to all. Okay. Martinez, you heard Reggie?
Yes. Well spoken. But I like the fact that you brought it up, that the concern or the criticism that people have raised is not the fact that he is not glorified or maybe what he said, but lack of certain personalities. I'm very happy with that. And Andy, the bottom line is we can still write the story and write it well. From all what he said, the point is simple, that we still have the opportunity to write it, especially when he's alive. And I'm very happy he made mention that it's not about the brand that matters, that who named the movement Hiplife, who brought the name, blah, 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 but those who contributed, those who played key role, that's the most important thing. But whenever Hiplife is mentioned, it's like there's a problem because he is glorified. And for me, I don't see that as a big problem, because I was on a show with Nkasa. I think he said it here before, Nake, that they looked up to Reggie. It was because of him.
But who didn't look up to Reggie?
But so I don't see why when he's glorified, people have problem.
Was that the issue? The issue was not about Reggie being glorified, though. Just as you mentioned earlier, it was because there were certain people who played very good roles in the formation of Hiplife or the movement.
Yes.
And they were not mentioned.
Yes.
That's the concern.
But you see, he made a point.
Because I've seen quite a number of commentaries, and it looks like that's the bane of their
But from what he was saying, he made a point that it shouldn't be about who coined the name and who brought the name. It's about those who worked, those who played an impactful role. I don't know if you remember that. He was very emphatic that when we talk about Hiplife, we should forget about who brought this and who brought that. And I think that is where the problem is. Because it looks like Reggie is being mentioned whenever we talk about the history of Hiplife, who brought it or maybe who started it and blah, blah, because others were rapping before he came in. But the bottom line is we should think about the future. Like you said, if you are listening to a good music, you enjoy it. But then the brand or the name given to it is what will determine the future, how well we can protect it. So yes, BBC has told a story, and you made mention of others working on two stories which we didn't pay attention to or didn't get that recognition. So I keep asking this question, when are we going to have an institution which will take charge of these things? Because like he said, Azonto was really doing well. At a point, it became a global, movement, and all of a sudden, it's out of the scene. And we don't have proper documentation about this. We don't have a documentary that the next generation can tap into it. There was a time Bohe was also the order of the day when it comes to dance, and it's like we that grew up in that generation, we know how it was. But then this particular generation might not know. So there's importance of documenting some of these things. And this back and forth wouldn't help. Yes, the documentary has been made. Like I said yesterday, there were certain artists I wanted to see in there. But unfortunately, they weren't. And I understand that we cannot bring everyone on board. But then I think there are key figures that if they had appeared in the video, that would have made it complete or that would have helped. But whichever way, it has been told. If we feel we are not convinced, we are not satisfied, let's start from somewhere. People are still alive that can actually support or give the real story behind it, like himself. And you as well. DJs who played the key roles, as I said yesterday, and other personalities. Let's get the Hiplife story really told well, because going back and forth wouldn't help. And for me, I like the way he's poured his heart out. We have to give him his flowers. And I don't think it would be wrongly placed if we celebrate him the way he is supposed to. Because look, whether we like it or not, he brought that movement and gave light to the game. A lot of people took inspiration from him. So, and if one of these days we will have him on the seat, at least one-on-one, to throw more light on it, I'm sure he has a lot to pour out.
Reggie, we have to give him like 3 hours. Justin, Rhea, please come.
Yes, so for me, when we have called all the people who have featured in the documentary, it didn't seem like, they wanted to self-serve or anything. They actually wanted more people on. They actually wanted to say a lot more. But I think one thing that ran through, as Uncle AB and Uncle Reg have said, is the time, the funding, and people not being available to participate in the documentary. So I think it explains a lot. And I mean, there's as Martinez said, there's been yesterday, right? I was telling you about the Hiplife book. I didn't know the writer, but he spoke about it. I mean, there's a lot of material out there. I think he's also taken the necessary steps. I mean, which came up yesterday when Boo God was asking Uncle AB when he was also going to bring out his own Hiplife documentary. So there's been bodies of work. It's just that it hasn't gained attention just like this BBC one has gained. So that makes the situation a bit iffy. But hey, it is what it is. We are happy that at least they've been able to explain us the reason why all these things have happened and why the documentary fell short of a few information that we expected. So it's been done.
All right, Rob. What you're saying there? Can Ghana's independence be told or mentioned without Kwame Nkrumah? That's a no-no. Thank you.
But then again, when you're speaking,
in the building,
in the and there's cast on the bed thereof. Yes. I mean, this one on the Grammys red carpet guy would have had.
Hey!
Love it.
Man, get out of here. We've just been joined by Ochame Kwame.
Yeah, you put the poor icing on the cake.
What fun?
Yeah, so Andy, for me, so this is funny. There are books written, but we are not commenting about the books. You know what they say? Africans, if you want to hide anything.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I didn't want it to be true. You see, the reason is also because...
They didn't even say African, said black man.
Well, there you go. And so there's a reason why you probably not hear so much about the book, but you hear a lot about the video, which means that we consume more audiovisual materials now than having to actually take a book and read. Because there's a very thick book from Professor Collins on High Lifetime. That's the name of the book. And there are insights, there are things about Hiplife in there, and then, the beginning and all of that. And then, it basically takes it all the way from the back. to the front, and details in there. I haven't finished reading, and I'm just asking myself, if somebody ever produces a high life documentary and it's audio visual and it doesn't even reflect half of the things that he's written, would we even notice it? Because the book is there and it's very detailed. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, if there's a book and the book has a lot of details, maybe we should start also getting into the books to see what it has to say. And then also, by virtue of that, use that as a yardstick by which people should produce documentaries or the documentary we are looking for. Based on explanations that have been given by AB yesterday, Reggie and all of that, all the people involved, what I'm hearing is a lot was gathered, but in terms of the story they wanted to tell, they just selected the portions that really mattered to them. So this is somebody's work. They wanted to communicate something. The things that the people said were not lies. They said what has been said. For us, the story is not complete, but it comes back to us. If we want to tell our story in a particular way that we want, Charlie, let's own our destiny. Let's tell our story. You have a country, rule yourself. That's what Nkrumah said. The black man is capable. Let the black man be capable of telling his own story. Let the black man be capable of running his own radio program in the morning. Let the black man be capable of doing the library. No, I'm I think this is, for me, it's the cue. It has been given. It's clear. If we are that agitated about what has been put out there, then let's do the work ourselves. And if we need institutions who are supposed to rise up to this, then let's begin to work on the collective black magic. The institutions that are supposed to do what they are supposed to do. Let's throw our agitations towards these institutions so that we can get the kind of results we are looking for. I'm also interested in finding out what academia has got to do with culture. So those who are in the institutions doing research, music, etc., do they have any impact? Do they do any research? Do they have any materials? Is there any collaborative? Yeah,
there is a lot of material, especially when you go to the School of Performing Arts and Institute of African Studies. There are a lot of books and articles, and even when you go into Google Scholar, books and articles in our archives that is open to the public to come and view and self-educate.
Good. Yes. My question, the real question I want to ask is, what is the relationship between academia and practice?
So it would have to be a personal, I would not say vendetta, but a personal initiative to be able to go and seek for the education because
wait, hold on, I'm coming. What I'm trying to say is this: when the researcher is doing research, do they research on academic works or they research on the industry?
Both.
So who is feeding the academic books? The work, the world of work, right? Exactly. So what I'm saying, exactly. So which means that without the industry, the academic institutions will not even be able to function.
So it's also vice versa, if you think about it.
Hence the question about the marriage. So if you are responsible for the knowledge base of the industry that is working, how do we marry the two? So that at the end of the day, information that is supposed to be, held and preserved or done with the right research methodology and techniques and etc. and churning out the information and maybe considering modern day forms of consuming information like video, audio, visual. We can translate some of these things into stuff that makes it easier for people to be able to consume on their go. Yeah. So these are thoughts, and I think that at the end of the day, we need to be able to get into these areas and have conversations about we need to do better.
Listeners, we've just been joined by I'm sure someone sitting somewhere is asking, what's it? Methodology and
that is more of academia.
Hey, yesterday, Ramoini Jan mentioned that, he he had started filming. Again, he's also feeding his children.
Exactly. So
The research is important too, because
even
you see,
BBC
these
is complaining
academic
about
institutions,
funding. So
these
Is it that the cash no days
they
I
are-
don't know?
Yeah,
No,
these
what are you
academic
talking about?
institutions are able to unlock some monies, so
From where?
Thank
for
you.
research
Thank
purposes.
you. Thank you.
No, they are able to.
Robert, you went to Aberdeen. Thank you very much.
No, it's not.
You
about
went
that.
to
No,
Aberdeen.
it makes- no.
There's money.
There's money.
There is.
No,
Listen.
you can say you don't know.
Of the use
Hey,
of
but
the
baby,
mall.
when you know the same person, listen, when VP entered and I asked him, listen, I asked him, but why are you standing outside? Why won't you come in? You're supposed to be a sec. Bro, but you know when potatoes are potatoing, allow them.
They are potating.
Potatoes. We've been joined by Ochabe Kwame, rap doctor. What's up, bro?
Cool.
Welcome. Have you seen the BBC documentary
I saw
on Hiplife?
Harold sent it to me.
Okay. What's your opinion on it?
I love it. I love the BBC documentary. I mean, I'm looking at it, I'm saying, so these people.
Please speak up or get closer.
So I'm looking at the documentary and I'm saying, so BBC, British people, they are the same ones that did our railway lines, connecting it from Kumasi through to Takoradi, back to Accra, so that they can ship gold, diamond, bauxite, cocoa to England. So they are the same people that developed our education system, where the focus was on law, English language, accounting, and
Mathematics.
so that they could get people to translate for them so that they can do their trade. These are the same people that love us so much that they colonized us, so that they could put army men at specific areas to protect British interests. If these people are doing a documentary, would they want to tell the story from a British perspective, or they have come here to tell the story the African way? I love what they do. I love when people are intentional. I love people when people have focus, arrow focus on what they want to do, and they did it. And I'm just.
Do you think he's being
The
sarcastic?
sarcasm of it all. What are you saying? What are you saying?
I love what they are doing.
I get closer. You're too laid back. I'm not. I don't like it.
I like the point.
If
you won't tell it, they will
British
tell it.
people
for
are
you.
telling your story. If you do not know who you are, someone who do not know who he is will tell you who you are not. And we let it happen all the time. We have a blonde hair,
But Kwame, it wasn't the Brits telling the story. It was us.
Who?
It was us.
Now who commissioned the work?
They commissioned the work.
Wait, with which intention?
With Ghanaians telling the story. So I come to your house, and obviously you are the head of the house. So I come and I speak with your children, and they're telling me, "Oh, this is our basketball court. This is Daddy's car park. This is this, that."
And they go and they cut it to suit for
Exactly.
which reason they have commissioned the work or commissioned the work. So I love what happened. They did a documentary on Hiplife, and they've used Reggie as their hero, and they use people that Reggie has influenced,
Right.
without Reggie's competitors.
Right.
Maybe they want to tell the story
That way.
about Reggie, and then the next time it will be Sarkodie, then the next time it will be Bookback, the next time it will be Achiame. Maybe that's what they want to do. But unless we know the motive for which they did the documentary, none of us has possessed the entitlement to come and tell them how they should have done what they wanted to do when these people have already come to colonize us. What are you talking
So
about?
your interest is the colony.
No, my interest is in me waking up in the morning, setting up an agenda, and saying that today I have a program on Saturday, so I'll visit Antidosi in the morning. I've not come here because I love you. I've come here to promote my show. That's exactly what has happened. So the BBC are doing their documentary for a specific reason. Look at the type of young artists they chose. Kwame Eugene, Kiddy, Manifest. These are artists in Ghana currently who are relevant in other markets other than the British market or the Ghanaian market. They wonder when Kwame Eugene speaks or Kiddy speaks, everybody that listens to Kiddy in Tanzania, Zimbabwe, Ecuador will also tune in. It's business. Why are we so attached to what other people do?
So your own brother, Chami Kofi, spoke to me yesterday. He was on air.
Yes.
And he expressed his dissatisfaction with the documentary, especially with some people that played pioneering roles in the formation of Hiplife, yet were not mentioned. In your opinion, was it right?
Kwaku.
Or do you agree with
Kofi? That is his opinion. I really have no qualms with someone organizing their documentary and not mentioning me. My legacy is not attached to what BBC is doing. My legacy is attached to the way I behave today. It has nothing to... What stops me from taking my 4G iPhone, getting a $200 cordless mic, calling all my friends and letting them sit down to also tell the story, giving it to my editor to edit it in my favor? Come on, we need to stop expecting things from other people. We should stop that. That's what I'm saying. It's the same way, African mentality. That is why we have a blonde hair, blue eye, white man in the jungles in East Africa swinging as Tarzan. The same way we have the Anansi story being told in Hollywood as Spider-Man. The same way we have the Benin story being told from the Hollywood perspective. We need to tell our story, and especially if we all know that our idea of coding and writing down history is picturesque. So that's why the Edinkra symbols that Ghanaians or some accounts were creating to write, they were in forms of icons. That is why the Egyptian hieroglyphs are drawings. So that is how we keep our history. We need to go back to it and tell the story the African way. But if someone else who is smarter than us is...
Storytelling. We always use storytelling.
Exactly, and storytelling and music and yonko. If someone else who has their own interest and has proven over and over and over again that they are best friends with us is doing something the way they want to do it, how dare we sit here and criticize how they should have done it?
Exactly.
What is wrong with us?
Remember, even AB said it. No, was it AB or AB said it? Reggie said it today. They took an interview.
Was that not the no, excuse me, Fifi, I'll let you come in, please, with due respect. But that was the same reason, same tangent. I asked you, I came to your house. Your son is telling me how this house was built. Maybe you bought the house and did not have any knowledge about how bricks and mortar were put together to form or build or erect it. And now, your son is telling it the other way, whilst the head of the house, or the way the story is told, makes you feel inferior. I'm not saying that's how the BBC story is. I'm only making an example. Will you be okay?
Akwesi.
Or you just want to play the fair?
Look at my hand. When I show
see
you
your palm.
You see my palm. You can't see my hand. I'm the only one who sees the back of my hand. All of us see subjectively. No one has an oversight view over objective truth. When Hiplife was happening, you and I, we were in Kumasi 91 rapping in Chi.
Right.
I do not know what native folklores and Kwekuti and Beku were doing in Accra in East Legon. So if you tell me to tell the Hiplife story, I'm talking about Swazibi, Sassy Park, Lord Kenya, Lota, and the people that were rapping with in 92 at City Hotel with DJs, talking about you, talking about Lavinci, and everybody else, Tebobi, everyone else that helped in the story that I have a certain objective idea of what is truth. So if someone else is also telling the story, even this is no Kumasi Accra, 4-hour drive, this is 6-hour flight. If they have come to tell the story, they will tell it from how they see it. And I do not think that anybody should become offended that his name wasn't mentioned, because you can wake up, go on your Instagram where you have 1 million and mention your name. Come on.
Yeah.
Nobody should wake up and mention your name. You should mention your name.
Well, you were about saying something.
I mean, he summed up almost everything that I wanted to say on this subject. Because number one, yesterday there was a whole, like, I think the interview. AB said it, and Reggie also mentioned it. It was a longer interview, but it took the part of the interview they wanted to talk about. So they did talk about certain things that were not included in the 30-minute interview. So that is it. If I am telling a story, subjective, this is what I want to tell people. This is what I want them to know. Look, the long and short of this is that unless we tell our own stories, is it unless the antelope tells his own story, the hunter, the lion tells his own story. No. Unless somebody tells us the hunter will glorify the hunters.
Yeah. The story will always glorify the hunter.
Yes. So it's as simple as that. Let's tell our story the way we know it. Look, nobody will come and tell your story better than you know your story better than anybody else. You would never know my story better than I know my story. It's as simple as that. So when I come in with an agenda, the agenda is to do ABC. It is that, and it is documentary filmmaking. People understand this. It is scripted in a way that I hope you can say documentary script. It's not like the movie script you see, this one says, no. That's not how it goes. It's a follow-up thing that I have specific questions to ask, specific to engineer certain answers. Because the B-rolls that I have, the knowledge that people are expecting, this question is what will bring that out for me to use that. It has nothing to do with you. Has nothing to do with you.
Right. Maidan. I'm sure you've heard of Maidan Home Decor, right? Well, since you are building or you want to have changes in your room, get to Maidan Home Decor. It offers you a wide range of bed and bath products made of 100% Egyptian cotton, beds, mattresses, sofas, and home decor accessories. They have unique designs, great quality, and very affordable. And for this month of love, Maidan Home Showrooms are offering the biggest collection of teddy bears, roses, vows, gifts, and accessories. Moreover, they can customize your own hamper with their beautiful boxes and special wrapping. You can find Maidan Home Decor at Accra Mall opposite ShopRite, Junction Mall at the food court, at Chimota Retail Center opposite the food court, and West Hills Mall at the main entrance. I want to travel. Yes, but on an Emirates flight.
Business class.
Well, for me, I just want to be on an Emirates flight. I don't know whether Ochame Kwame has been on. Have you ever flown on an Emirates?
I love it.
Yeah.
Even if you allow me to ask the question, I've never flown on an Emirates.
Oh, you will love
Oh,
it.
you should.
You
should. Even
should.
even the
Economy.
Economy is better than some
So they
business
say.
class.
So
And the girls are nice.
So be on Emirates. See the beauty in the plane. Aya has got a lot of class. No be small. Our dear friends that went to the World
A
Cup.
lot of what?
Huh?
A lot of what?
Class.
A lot of class.
Name.
Yeah. You get so much more in Emirates economy. Find out more at emirates.com. Let me read some few comments and then we out of here. Ochame Kwame is organizing an event this Saturday. Love Lockdown. Vegan music.
Who's shooting your event for you?
Oh, it's
Are they from outside?
no, it's a
They're not
crew
from the
a crew
BB.
They're not from the.
a crew from the Kumasi.
Oh, okay. So I'm okay. For us by us.
Yes.
Okay, Fubu. All right, that's fine.
Right.
IBPC
So
Kamanobo.
Tell us about the event.
Also, so last year I dropped my book, Love Lockdown. It became a song, became a video. Now it's become an event. So please, we want to do an experience. Love Lockdown is not a musical concert; it's an experience. So we have Miss V, Sinaso, myself, Efriye, and some other artists, and we are going to play just love songs. And then amidst that, we use the screen to tell stories. We've actually going to do a vox pop on why people don't want to get married. So if you guys don't want to know why KMJ is not getting married, come to the show and see. So we've done a vox
Is he going
pop.
to say it?
He's told that he said that he doesn't want anyone.
You just spill the bean.
Yes, so I won't say it. I can't keep a secret. So if you want to be a part of the experience, you didn't get the opportunity to go out 2 days ago, or you did, but you also want something totally different. Come, I'm hosting it. It will be beautiful. It's an experience. You are a part of it. And when you are coming, please, I have 200 books left of the last one I cut. School fees is due, so come and buy some.
How much are we paying to get in?
It's only 200 cedis per person. But when you come
Plus
in, you want
233.
Yes, you want a special table too. We can take your 5,000 and give you a special table, give you some alumo. But it will be nice. I'm really expectant. And plus, I almost forgot. We have like a 30 to 1 hour set where DJ and the Dusty is playing back to back. Only love classics.
Yes, sir.
Only love classics. And we even have a part where
You have to learn how to tell your story.
I like that. Excuse me. Guys, please.
I like that.
Abusia mementon watching. It's my name said me drum
It's all jokes.
menton watching. Right. So Saturday.
Saturday, yes.
What time?
9
p.m.
Yes, 9. I always start my events on time.
Right,
So
9 p.m.
9-1, Uncle Ebo White, we are late. 9.
So arrival is 8 and then it starts at
Yes.
9.
And so the band will start playing at 8. So the actual program will start at 9 until late. And I joined it.
And the girls too are nice.
Yes, the girls are nice.
Fifi. And you also have your girls' night out.
Nope.
The girls are back. Women at work. Yep. My friend, go into the mic.
Yep, me here. Yeah, the girls are back. This time around, we're allowing men to come and see it.
Why come out for that? What? Yeah.
Talk.
Go ahead, make you don't mind now.
So the commercial is playing right now.
No, you can't.
No.
Kaka, go back to Yaka. If you please go ahead. Otherwise, black will bore you.
No, we just say that women at work is back. The girls are back. New stories, new people joining the crew. Nana McBrown is on stage now.
Wow.
First time like stage play,
First
national
time.
theater, live audience. Now she can't go wrong with telling the same story with a little bit of twist here and there. 4 p.m., 8 p.m., March 4th, National Theater, 100 cities per head. Let's see how we're gonna do it. So the first time we did it, we said no men allowed. So it was a big deal. Now
And I loved it though.
Yes,
Were
but
there any
so
men?
now
No.
but now we're doing this for the men. So now we say men allowed.
And they say if you are a man, you can come.
Yes, if you're a man, you can come.
For what?
If you're a man,
And the way you spelled your come, wow,
how did I spell man come?
it's all right.
The
I've
first
seen
show,
it.
the first show was so awesome because the bouncers were even women, and you should see them in their gear with their haircuts, ready to throw you out.
I was there
Or
with
throw
some.
you
I was
down.
there.
How come you were there?
I wore jalabia. Right. So Fifi, it's happening on 4th March. Right. Yes. We'll be there. But hey, tomorrow I'll tell you much more. Thank you very much for coming out, Chami Kwame. See you on Saturday, 9 p.m. plus 233, Jazz Bar and Grill. Let's all meet. 200 Ghana CDs, 5,000 CDs for VIP. Let's all meet. I'm performing. Who else is performing? Adina, Miss V.
Sinner Soul, every year, and many other.
Right. So let's all meet. Thank you very much, Robert. Thank you, Fee. Thank you, Martinez. Tomorrow, 10 a.m., let's meet on radio and let's have the library. We're having the local edition of the sampling tomorrow. Don't miss it. My name is Andy. DJ Black is up next with Music Box. Bye for now.